Episode 5 of Furious opens with Alden telling Catherine he wants to marry her, although he does ask her to take her time with the decision. Catherine then brings Hal into the house and lies, telling Alden he is her uncle. She claims Hal is a drug addict, that she'll be helping him through withdrawal, which may get loud. Meanwhile, Alice and Danny discuss Nora kicking her off the case after Marshall's complaint. Alice explains that Marshall wanted her to lie about the domestic violence report, and Danny tries to cheer her up by suggesting they go away together for a break. Alice panics and retreats into her apartment. That night she meets Deputy Carter, who worked with Nora on the old Jane Doe case involving Isabel's body. Carter says Nora was heavily invested in the investigation, but suddenly closed it one day. She also remembers Nora looking into the hospital bracelet found on the victim. Now at Alden's house, Catherine questions Hal about Jay Easton's involvement in Isabel's death. Hal claims he doesn't know exactly how Isabel died, only that her body was in a terrible state when Jay asked him to clean things up. He also reveals that someone else was at the massage club that night, but Catherine realises she has no memory of what happened. Hal says Jay bribed Adrian and sent Catherine away after Isabel's murder. Catherine then tortures Hal with a curling iron, while Alden drowns out the noise with loud music. Hal tries to bargain, claiming he can help her find out the truth about Isabel. Now back at the FBI office, Ed George joins the case briefing. Nora identifies Catherine as the prime suspect and explains that she may be connected to Isabel, who could be the unidentified girl from the Jane Doe case 12 years earlier. Ed quickly shuts that angle down though, telling everyone to focus on finding Catherine instead. He also warns the team not to release Catherine's name or face to the public. Alice, however, starts looking into the cases Ed and Nora were working on at the same time. After the meeting, Alice asks Nora to let her back on the investigation, but Nora refuses and tells her to take time off. Alice then decides to deal with Marshall in her own way, inviting him to her apartment that evening. Now at Alden's house, Catherine asks Alden to remove any trackers from Hal's laptop. He agrees and Catherine agrees to marry him, putting on his mother's ring. She then speaks to Hal about the years of abuse she endured and admits there are parts of that time she actually can't remember. She also reveals that she used to be in love with Isabel. Meanwhile, Danny confronts Marshall about his complaint regarding Alice. He tells him that his abuse has left Alice in a damaging place, where she now seeks out pain and domination. He's furious that Marshall tried to pressure Alice into protecting his career. That night, Alice prepares for Marshall by drinking, cleaning her apartment, and dressing in a way she knows he'll like. She also finds old photos of them together, including pictures of her bruises, and becomes emotional. When Marshall arrives, he's shocked by the state Alice is in. He questions whether she has always been drawn to violence, brings up her past pregnancy, and tells her how much he still wants her. The two start making out, but Alice turns it into something darker and tries to choke him. Marshall leaves, furious. Alice then calls a neighbour and claims there's a drunk man outside with a gun, making sure the police are called on him. While packing away the old clothes, she finds a sonogram which gives her a new idea. Now at the FBI office, Nora indirectly gets Danny to release Catherine's photo to the public, despite Ed's orders. Ed is furious while Danny later tells Alice that Marshall is missing from work and asks what happened between them. Back at Alden's house, Alden finds videos on Hal's laptop showing women being assaulted. Catherine is horrified and takes her rage out on Hal, punishing him for protecting men like Jay Easton. Hal finally admits that Jay didn't kill Isabel, but says there was someone else in the room besides Jay, Caleb and Oliver. However, he refuses to say exactly who this is. When Alden's ventilator starts beeping, Catherine rushes to him and sees the fugitive alert with her photo on his computer. Hal tries to escape, but Catherine tackles him and kills him with a syringe, shocking Alden. Meanwhile, Alice looks into safe surrender boxes where mothers can anonymously leave babies for adoption. She learns that mothers and babies are given matching coded bracelets, which makes her wonder whether Isabel may have had a child. Elsewhere, UT calls 911 and reports Catherine as Alden's nurse. Nora sends Frank and Danny to Alden's house, where they find Hal's body and Alden still alive in his wheelchair. At the same time, Alice spots Catherine at a safe surrender facility, bringing the episode to a close. So episode 5 has a lot going on, no doubt, but the biggest takeaway is that Isabel's death is clearly more complicated than it first appeared. Hal confirms that someone else was in the room that night, which suggests there may be an even bigger player being protected here. Catherine's rage towards him is obviously understandable, especially after what she finds on his laptop, but the show continues to make her revenge difficult to fully support because of the collateral damage it's causing around her. Alice's storyline is just as messy. She's clearly planned to get some kind of revenge on Marshall, and while it's satisfying to see him finally face consequences, it also shows how unstable and damaged she's becoming. The safe surrender box angle is an interesting inclusion, especially with the hospital bracelet too. It raises the possibility that Isabel may have had a baby before she died, which could end up being a major piece of the puzzle here. Overall, this is a busy but important episode. It doesn't move as cleanly as some of the earlier ones perhaps, but it does deepen the mystery around Isabel, it exposes more of Hal's role in the cover-up, and pushes Alice and Catherine even further towards the same dark centre of the story. Hopefully we'll get some answers soon, because you can feel that this one's building towards a showdown between Alice and Catherine. All in all, this is a solid episode, leaving the door wide open for next week's follow-up. Thanks for watching, and do let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Smash a like or subscribe to the channel, your support is very much appreciated. I'm Greg Wheeler, and from all of us over here at The Review Geek, we'll see you on the next video.